in this review we're going to talk about City Index, one of the old stalwarts of the City of London. We're going to tell you what we like about them, what we don't like about them, who they're for, what they do, and whether or not they're the right broker for your trading. Stay watching. Now, I have to say, I've always liked City Index. They've always had a fantastic presence in the City of London, and it seems to me as though they've always had a great sense of humour about the market and the trading industry in general. They've always had a fantastic client base. I remember seeing their bad debt list once, and it was like a who's who of City faces at the time. They were founded in 1983 by Chris Hale and Jonathan Spark, just as they'd come out of the spread betting gambling industry from Coral Index and decided to set up City Index with a more financial focus. It started off mainly offering institutions and hedge fund managers a way to hedge their overnight positions, but then as financial spread betting took off, it became more and more popular with private client traders. And since then, it's been bought and sold at the whim of billionaires and bigger boys. But in recent years, it had gone off a bit from its glory days. Back in the good old days, you could open an account and put on $1 million trade over the phone with no ID, no deposit, and no idea. Well, you could if you happened to be on a yacht with Michael Spencer, the then City Index owner and City grandee of ICAP fame, who was convinced he knew which way the euro was headed and goaded one of his guests into putting a trade on. Well, that's how the story goes. Anyway, City Index has always been a big fan of celebrity. Not that they knew it, Spencer Matthews went through a stint of providing video analysis for them. They have a great YouTube channel with a Celeb Traders series with people like Glenn Hoddle and Michelle Roux. They sponsor the Saracens, so they've got some of the players on there talking about trading, which is actually quite a good indication of who shouldn't be trading. And they also have some fairly educational, interesting things like the Traders Academy, which is also available on YouTube if you want to take a look at that. City Index has always been an acquisitive business as well. They're always sweeping up other brokerage firms. One of the actually early acquisitions they made was FinSpreads, which was a great purchase because it separated the two brands. Back then, 20 years ago, it was actually very difficult for private clients to open a CFD trading account. In fact, 20 years ago, when I tried to open an account with City Index to take advantage of their switch brokers and get a £100 bonus offer, failed the credit check and wasn't allowed an account. But FinSpreads was geared more towards beginner traders. They had maximum stake sizes and very, very small minimum trade sizes. So if you just wanted to dip your toe into the market with fairly limited risk, FinSpreads was quite a good brand to do that. City Index at the time was seen as a bit more of a grown-up brokerage. But are those days long gone? The incumbent trading platforms have to fight really hard against the new breed of nimble fintechs nipping at their heels. They have to provide more trader tools to lure new customers in. They can no longer rely on switching bonuses or incentives. And of course, there's now the wild west of crypto, which brokers like eToro, 75% of their business last year, they say, was in crypto. So the traditional stock market trading and index trading and forex trading platforms have to try and compete by adding added value to their service, not just access to the markets. City Index seems to have matured nicely, though. It's grown out of a sort of lumbering adolescence that it had under the ownership of Gain Capital and is now owned by US behemoth StoneX, previously International FC Stone. Since then, the platform's had a few upgrades, and long-term investment products will hopefully be added shortly to give it a wider appeal to a larger investment-focused audience. Under Gain Capital, the City Index platform had a slightly off-the-rack feel to it. So instead of trying to compete on added value back then, they focused instead on getting business referrals from friendly customers, high net worth individuals who'd use their experienced dealers and work large orders over the phone. Whilst voice brokerage still forms part of City Index's offering, and actually it's one of the things that makes City Index stand apart, is the ability to be able to get through to experienced dealers. They are, as with everybody else, doing the majority of their business online, so they're working hard to make their trading platform stand out from the competitors, and they've added a few new tools to it, which I'll talk you through in a minute. Obviously, they have quite a nice market range. They offer access to more than the usual amount of markets, about 12,000 at the moment. They have some nice thematic themed indices like ESG and a good pool of sectors to speculate on. You can also trade options, CFD or spread bets of options, not on exchange options, on a good range of indices and commodities. Plus you can bet on things like volatility, and everybody loves trading a bit of volatility during choppy markets. One example of how they're populating their platform with advanced trader tools is Smart Signals. Now, of course, all, or at least most brokers have Trading Central or Auto Chartist. In fact, Citi has Trading Central as well, whose signals are used by so many platforms that they almost become self-fulfilling, or a barrel for larger traders to shoot down small fry, depending on which way you look at it. So Smart Signals is basically a new iteration of GetGo, which I actually tested and reviewed a few years ago. At the time it was a standalone app and actually quite good fun, and did well highlighting some trading opportunities. You can see my original GetGo review in one of the links below. Now though it's been fully integrated and upgraded into Citi Index platform, you can look at what trading signals are being spat out by the algorithm and either dive in manually or opt to trade when the signals are triggered, with corresponding stops and limits in place. It's a great feature for stimulus and saves you a bit of time if you're on the hunt for trades. Now it's available on the app and the desktop platform. Personally, I don't really like trading on the app. I find it very difficult to get a good overview of what the market looks like. And trading signals are just stimulus, they're not gospel. One of the things to do with signals is to eyeball the market, look at the fundamentals, look at the technicals, and see whether or not that fits into your trading strategy. And you can only really do that when you've got a good overview of what the market looks like comparative to what other markets look like. And in fact, the Citi Index 360 view gives quite a good visualization of where the market is for specific signals. Whether or not you can make money exclusively using Smart Signals is another matter. But Smart Signals does give you a full breakdown of its P&L from previous trading signals, so whether or not you make money will largely depend on what signals you as a trader decide to follow. And as you'll know from reading The Art of Execution, it's how traders and investors manage positions after executing that can make the difference between making or losing money. Another great acquisition from StoneX, Citi Index's parent company, is Chasing Returns, which is now integrated into the platform as performance analytics. A lot of brokers are offering this nowadays, which is giving traders information and analysis on which trades they've got right and which trades they've got wrong, and why that might be. Of course, everybody's seen the risk warning. It's always been anecdotally noted that the majority of traders lose money, between 65 and 85% of traders, depending on which platform you look at. And it's important to note that actually that's retail traders, not professional traders. And the big established brokers like Citi Index and IG that want to form longer term relationships with their customers want their customers to do well. They want them to make money, because the more a trader trades, the more money they make from them. So the more information, the more analysis, the more tools they can give them to help them make money instead of losing it, the longer the client's going to be with them and the more profitable that client will be to the broker. So brokers providing these tools not only helps them, it helps the customer. Now, performance analytics really drills down into where you are trading well and where you're losing money. It can break down your wins and losses and tell you what markets you trade best, what time of day you're most profitable, if you can make money trading in quick succession, or if you do better if you take a break between trades. It'll even tell you if your first trade of the day is often a winner or a loser, if you're a better bull or a bear, and it'll also tell you if you're better at trading during volatile markets or calm markets. There is, of course, more to Citi Index than the 2 or 3 things I've just pointed out. So if you want to know more about Citi Index and how they compare to other brokers, go to the Good Money Guide Citi Index page. There's a little bit on there about what Citi Index does. There's our expert review, there's customer reviews, frequently asked questions. There's news and views, so we cover the goings on, the products releases, the nice things people are saying, the mean things people are saying. And of course you can look at the facts and fees as well, so you can compare markets, trading costs, account types against the other brokers in the industry. And most importantly, we want to hear what you think of Citi Index. So if you've used Citi Index, tell us what you think of them, either in the comments below or go to the Good Money Guide and fill out our annual survey, and that'll give us some really good insights into what customers think about the service that Citi Index offers. Thanks for watching.